Hi guys, I have left my hermit mode because I wanted to talk to you guys about the upcoming eclipse cycle energies, kind of what we've been through in 2020 and what we're stepping into. Because I think if some of you are still having some confusion around things, I think that I'm going to be able to at least say some words that will maybe resonate with you and help clear up some stuff. like, um, so I haven't been around. I've been using my Mercury retrograde to do some internal work and also gather a lot of information about astrology. I'm actually studying under somebody now, officially. So that's fun. But I also kind of use astrology as a confirmation. And I find that psychics and mediums and just your own intuition, if you write it down and then look at the astrology that happened, you'll find that you're actually like doing the astrology anyway. And you can like track your own cycles that way. So that's amazing. But yeah, in the spring, I will... I know a lot about charts, and my particular teacher doesn't just teach the signs of astrology. He really goes deeply into, what we came here as our soul mission in life to do, what struggles we're going to have in this life, and why, past karmas. And so it's a good fit for me. It's not just telling you, oh, this is, where your Mercury is, this is where your Mars is, this is your, it's actually looking at the person's heart, and going deeply into, how to be a tool for their own, better journey through life. And I know on my last video I made, I talked to you guys about how I was really just a tool to spark, you guys's, journey into the future, and become, and light up your own gifts, both, material gifts and your intuitive gifts. So it's a really good fit for me, and for you guys, I think. So I will be tested out on doing charts in the spring, and I'd be happy to do some things for you guys after my first year. So that's fun. So yeah, what I'm being kind of pushed to talk to you guys about is there's a point right now that you guys are all being able, me as well, to make a decision for your best good, like for your biggest truth in life, that you can actually set forward, kind of like skip some steps almost, which is probably why I'm being pushed to talk now to you guys, because I really feel that this is an important message. So I'm leaving my own hermit mode, which I do enjoy. Of course, you guys know that. I know you guys are thinking like, more decisions 2020, and I'm with you there. Like, it has been really rough. There's been big changes, not even in just the quarantines and the shutdowns and the changes in the way that we live in a day-to-day life, but more so I want to talk about the changes that have happened internally with you guys, because that's kind of like my area of expertise. So in case you didn't notice, we went through a whole year of Mercury retrograde in water signs, which means that we were all being called to look deeply into our own feelings, into our own feelings about self, into our own feelings about others, into feelings or wounds that maybe haven't healed, that have held us back on our journey. And the shutdowns and the shakeups of our regular schedule really helped that process because we weren't able to distract ourselves with the outer world anymore, or at least that's what you were being called to do, to stop looking outward, and to be silent and start looking inward. And I think even if you tried to avoid it, like, you were still faced with that just because of the energies and what your soul was calling you to do. So there was a lot of deep feeling. And I know just in the past month, we went through like Mars going direct, where everything just like started moving all at once. That was a crazy week. And then we got into like the feels week. Even I had a tough time with feels week. It was just like a deep mourning of past situations that really we needed to do like one last time, to be gentle on ourselves and to be gentle on other people. So that's what you were really called to do this year, is to forgive people that maybe you feel have done you wrong. Because during these deep introspective time, you may have not said it, but you were also called to look at the things that we each as souls like have not done in the right way. So that should have allowed you to have empathy for everybody else, because we have no idea the things that are going on in other people's lives and how people react if those things aren't dealt with, or if they're not leveled, or if they're not centered in a deep way. So a lot of people that have been like, maybe having arguments with you, or maybe like coming off like very, combative with you, it's because they're hurting in a deep way. So I hope you guys are able to see that with me saying it, or at least can look at your own situations and feel that. So with the lunar, with the nodes of the moon and the eclipse season coming up, I speak to you on the cusp of the Gemini eclipse. And of course, the Gemini is all about facts and information, and maybe you guys feel as though you've just been like hungry for information, and you've been really like not able to get a grasp on it, or been like confused as to how it fit, just too much information. And hopefully you've been looking in your internal environment and your own space, and maybe acquiring new knowledge, or just working on yourself and your own family, because that's what you've been really called to do, is to kind of bring it back in to community, to family, to like reconcile what's important for all of you guys in your own lives. But Neptune is coming direct, so you really should see some clarity now. All the information is in, so it's a time to ask yourself on a deep knowing level, what makes your heart happy? Like, what you want to see in the world is not going to come from the outside world for you. What you want from the world, you're being asked right now specifically to take the steps towards it. This isn't a time for waiting for other people to save you. Although there is divine energies at work right now, and people that do need help, people are showing up for. And I've seen that in my own life, dramatically. You just have to follow your internal pushes right now, and trust that it will work out. Now, if you haven't been able to reconcile, to become grounded in this space, to like know the true you, or so when you don't work on your internal self, which would be your hidden parts, your Neptune, your 12th house, it can be very confusing, and sometimes, when you first go to those places, it's very painful. So some people self-soothe. Like, I know I used to self-soothe by shopping. Everyone has their thing, but it never worked, and it always made me feel worse afterwards. And 12th house is also the place of your own downfall, and it was the place of my own downfall. So I've reconciled that. So I'm telling you this because I'm telling you everybody falls into that trap. And it's not the time to not face your integrities or your responsibilities right now. It's the time to push your ego aside and stand up, because if you're willing to do that right now, especially, you'll be rewarded for it. And I can only attest to that fact. And I know I don't try and prove anything to anybody. But what I'm trying to do is give you clues that might resonate so that you can help yourself. Because if there's something in your life that hasn't been working so far, it's time to make a different decision so that it does. So if you've been struggling and waiting for the other person to show up, or waiting for someone like the government or something else to show up, that's not what you're being asked to do right now. And by you stepping up to the plate and saying this is who I am, this is what's important to me, I'm willing to put in the work to have this manifest in my life, your guides will have your back with that. So that's good news. And for some of you, I know the Cancerians are going through some 12th house things right now. Luckily, I just happen to have a Neptune full moon, Pisces full moon, meditation video that I made a while ago. So instead of kind of self-soothing, you can ground yourself. You can actually fall asleep to it. You don't have to try and meditate. It has binary music behind it, so that it actually levels you out. It's theta waves, so it will actually get you into that Neptune kind of clearing of the mind from the Gemini talk, and it will have effect for you after the fact. I'm also going to link so I'll link that, and I'll link Allie's Reiki video, which for people that like a voice to follow to get into that space, that will be helpful for them. But the point is, now, if you are still feeling confused, don't look for information outside yourself on what to do, because you're not going to find it there. I know I did some videos at the beginning of the year that talked about, I think it was March, when things first started shutting down. I was getting from my guides that this was a time where things would fall apart, but your gifts as a person would show, and you guys are being asked to share your gifts, whatever they are, with whoever you can right now, in your family or in your community. You would be surprised what words or gestures or small things can really make a difference right now. And if you have gifts like that, or you have some kind of service that you do for other people, that's what you're being asked to do. You're being asked to make the sacrifice to make the world, to create the world that you want right now, because that's the only way that you're going to be able to step into that divine path. So I did make some notes. So I remembered everything that I needed to say to you guys. At the bottom, at the core of this message for you guys is the hardest thing you'll ever do is, as you're developing your intuition, is to really trust what you're hearing internally. That is the hardest thing to do. I woke up on Friday and I just knew, it didn't even come as a picture to me, so I didn't think it was from my guides. I just knew I had to go to this town by me, and I had to see this certain person. I didn't know why. I just knew that I had to go and see them, and I went to their workplace. I didn't even know their phone number. Whatever. Long story short, this person ended up just getting out of the hospital for corona. Like, I hadn't seen this person in years. And I had things, this person doesn't have family. And I was able to help them, like, not worry about things that they were really worried about. And they were really sick. Like, he got permanent damage in his lungs, and he's younger than me. And I'm asking you guys, if you're being pushed to do something right now, like, please do it. Like, if you just feel for some reason, like, that is what your intuition is. It's like these little nudges that you get to do something that you don't even know why. Like, just do it, because it's going to end up, like, immediately showing you that, like, you passed some kind of test. And I'm telling you guys, all of you guys have your intuition on right now. Like, Neptune went direct. That is your intuition. So just trust yourself. And I'm getting truth chills with that. That is really the lesson that I need to get across to you guys. And there's something else. Yeah, the ego. Okay. Because they're showing me like a shiny trophy thing. You guys have all the information. The only thing that might be stopping you from going towards, your divine path right now is the vision of what we've all been brought up to be the most successful life. Like, that is what kind of got shook up this year. That you have to, have this degree or that degree, or make a certain amount of money, or live in a certain house to be valued and to be, like, successful in this life. But that is the good news of what is changing in 2021, is that all this shakeup and all this change in your life has implored you to find what is important in your life. What makes your heart happy? What do you need in your life, in your community, in your family, like in your housing, to be happy? And this is the opportunity for you to step up, and kind of not be afraid of what other people are going to say, because you're making these choices, and to really, like, live the life that you're being called to live. And if you're brave enough to do that, if you're brave enough to, like, I know some of you are like hyperventilating, like, oh my gosh, what will my family think? Like, all I can say is that your family will see you happy, and that your guides and the universe totally has your back right now. If you're being called to do something from your heart, like, I guarantee you that your angels are on your side, like, calling you to do that. Yeah, because ego and admitting our wrongs and admitting, where we've failed ourselves and the people around us, that's a hard thing to stomach up to. But if you can learn to stomach up to that, like, that's how you really free yourself. And I am not one that is, like, without flaws. I've got so many flaws. And I'll easily admit them to anybody, because I don't want to be in that ego trap anymore. I was in that, and that is, like, that's what really makes your life hard, is, standing in that place and, like, kind of blaming others and, like, shaming others. If you're in a spot where you're blaming others or blaming the outside world for your situation, I'm not saying terrible things don't happen to people, but we're really being called to, like, step up and reconcile that within ourselves right now, and see that Earth School is hard for everybody, and kind of come together, despite the polarities that may be happening in your life right now or in the outside world. You're being asked to kind of create. If you don't like the polarities that are going on, if you don't like the arguments, if you don't like things, then be the one that will foolishly go forward and make amends and make peace, and like be the person that brings people together, because success in from now forward will not be determined by how much you work or what degree you have or what how many stocks you have. It's really your success in a material and a spiritual level is going to be based on your ability to serve others, to be truthful in yourself, to like cast away your ego. So to me, that's really good news. Because I definitely have had some ego shattering from 2019 till now, and I'll be the first to tell you that. And I have, had to do some deep searching on myself, but that deep searching gives me the freedom to talk to you guys, to not be like, I'm an introvert. Like, I'm super shy. But because this is so important, and because my words may help other people, I'm willing to make that sacrifice for my own, I guess, private life, to come out to you guys. And I know there's so many other people doing the same thing so much better than me. I got some friends that have been like speaking throughout this whole time and not taking their little mercury break. So I certainly have to say, like, kudos to them for like carrying the load for everybody. Hopefully I can catch up. So the things that we will value in our life, stepping forward, what we're being called to step into in this new time, during these eclipses and stepping into the new year, is nothing that comes from outside ourselves. It's not something that we're going to grasp to keep. It's not something that we're going to step on other people to achieve. Like, that is the old way. And thank goodness that old way is leaving, because that was harsh, especially for somebody that's like heart-centered, or like you're empaths, or like people that feel other people's feelings. Not everybody's an empath, but people that are tuned in for that's harsh, to see people fighting over like petty things that don't really matter, when what is coming into this new time is like the relationships that you build and the communities that you build, and like just your kindness and your love of other people and helping them on their journey. And I'm lucky that I have so many people like that, like in my environment. And if you're literally listening to astrology or tarot or just like any kind of spiritual things right now, how your spirit awakens at some point, and that usually is awakened by chaos. But if you think about how long you were asleep, and then when you start, seeking out these things, you're already awake. So you've already been through, like, everyone's like looking for understanding, but you're already through the longest part of your journey when you start listening to these things, and when you start seeking out, your own kind of spirituality. So that's amazing. Like, for anybody that just happens to listen to this, or anybody that is listening to anything like this, like, you're a seeker. You're on your path already. So I just want to cry about that, because you guys will find that you are led to exactly what resonates with you, and that may be the building of the trust in your intuition that you need to find your truth. It's funny, during this time I've been doing readings for just people around me, And there's a lot of really young people finding their path right now. And they're so funny because they're so eating up, like, they're so cute and just like fresh and like an Aries, like the Fool, like, you know, just going head first towards it, like just not believing it because they don't have the long-term structures of being told what is right for them by like a family, that it's just like they're going forward in their own way. And I'm getting tooth chills, and that's like the beautiful thing about this younger generation now, that they like haven't been inundated for long enough so that they're still able to find what's true to them, like, so much easier. And I did a reading for the 2020 kids, and they were going to help like us older generation move through this time of change because they've been having shakeups since like the year 2000. So it's really beautiful to see that reading coming to manifest in like some of the young people that I know. Shout out to you guys. You're my inspiration. Because they are just like going towards these things like full force. And to any of you young people that are watching that I know or that I don't know, when it comes to manifestation or when it comes to finding your path, believe me when I tell you that what you're led to is exactly what you need to be learning or researching about. And that really applies to everybody. But I'm really excited about the younger seekers as well. And I, of course, deeply have a love for everybody's religion that exists. Like, I was brought up Christian, like Jesus rules the heart in like a very, like, you can feel that when you talk about Jesus. Like, I didn't know archangels were a thing. I didn't know angels were a thing, but that is my truth now. And I also, you do the practices of Buddhism because I'm like a little kid and I need like the 10-step program on how to like get the mercury overthinking out of my brain in order to come back to myself. I'm seeing a lot of even Hindu teachings, like all of the teachings from all of the religions really come back to like a heart space and finding love within yourself and really serving others. So like, I don't care what name you put on it. To me, like, it's beautiful that anyone has any kind of belief or is seeking any path at this point. So yeah, as far as the actions that we'll all be making decisions during this eclipse season. And if we are able to stand up for our own truth and what we want the world to look like, starting with ourselves in our own house, in our own family, if we're able to stand up and do those actions, even though they may be hard, they're definitely not going to be like put in front of you on a silver platter. Like, you're going to have to take actions to do these things. All I can do is say that the astrology definitely has your back for success in this. And from the messages I've got from my guides and just from the things that I've seen work around me in other people's personal lives, I can attest for that as well. Because, underneath it all, I have a lot of Mercury. So I like to observe and compare and contrast. And the people around me know that, like, I'm a weirdo. So I'm always asking them, like, you find any truth? Like, oh, is it feels weak? Like, what have you guys been doing? I'm so nosy. It's just statistical analysis. Don't worry about it. It helps you guys in the end. Yeah, so all in all, it is time for everybody to show up for themselves first, to be gentle on yourselves for the mistakes you've made in the past. Because when you are able to forgive yourself and be kind to yourself, and to realize that those mistakes don't have to hold you back. You're able to be kind to others and to really find your path in life. So, you know, it's your choice, but right now, really, you're being asked to show up and take the steps, even though they may be challenging, even though nobody likes change, be it in relationships or just your day-to-day habits, or, you know, your responsibilities, or, you know, just coming out as like some kind of weirdo right now, like when everybody else is so, perhaps your family's been so structured, perhaps your, you know, job is so structured, like you're being asked to do the work needed, to do the change needed, to show up, because it could be the most beautiful life ever. So yeah, just my only advice for you would be to stay grounded in yourself, to silence that all working head, because all the info's in. You don't need any more now. I will link, of course, some videos for you, and to just be curious about what could happen. Don't be afraid of the change. Like, be curious. If you approach it from that aspect, I'll be the first one to tell you that sometimes the biggest changes and that seem really terrible at the time could evolve into like a transformative part of your life. So if you guys are going through hard things right now, my love is certainly with you. I know it's hard for a lot of people right now, and that's why gentle words and empathy should always be used, especially right now, with other people. But that really starts with a gentleness to yourself first. Otherwise you can't provide that care and that gentle heart for other people. So I did pull some cards. Like, actually, I didn't pull some cards. Cards literally flew at me when I was getting the thing, the video set up for you. So clearly they're important. I didn't think I was gonna pull any cards. But first, for you guys, we have Layla, the saint of spoken words. Every word I say becomes a prayer. I am the author of my own story, which is like amazing. Like, truth chills on that one. And this is from the Tarot of the Divine Feminine. I actually have like 13 new tarot decks for y'all, but so don't worry, I'll do some regular readings soon too. And then we have Aridane. I'm sorry, some of these tarots I haven't even used before. And this is Mistress of the Labyrinth. My soul knows the way, and the only way out is through. And I think that resonates with me deeply, because when I was going through my whole crash and burn of my life, where kind of Pluto and Mars kind of wiped everything out, someone told me the only way out is through. And that's all about going deep into your emotions instead of like self-soothing. And she was so right. And I don't think she even realizes what a guru those words were. So Sam, you're a guru. Like, clearly she was through things before me, so she was able to give me the help, and now I'm able to give that to you. And then we have Shekada, the presence of the divine feminine. At the center of everything there is light, and I am that light. So yeah, you guys are able to create the peace and happiness and in like the whole world right now, just starting from your local environment. Like that's just beautiful. And Sarah La Kali, Queen of the Outsiders. I have arrived. I am where I will always be, in love. I'm like super truth chills on that one, guys. And I'm sorry if I'm so butchering these names. But yeah, if your path is one that you feel in your heart, like I was saying, like be anchored in your heart and in your faith. Like know that the universe has your back and you can come out like as your truth right now and be totally supported. And next we have Bridget, the goddess of the eternal flame. I am an eternal flame, and each day my light grows brighter. So yeah, every day that you guys take the little steps towards changing your life or changing others by service and understanding and love, like it's true, things will get easier. And I know that sounds like such a cliche, and I would have never believed that had I not experienced it in my own life dramatically. Yeah. And then we have Yamoja, the goddess of all that flows. I am in an ocean of creative energy. I give birth to what exists within me. And super truth chills on that one, guys. Like, yeah, this is like a time of giving birth to like what is in your heart. And I think you guys are drawn, you have to be drawn to that. You have to have a feeling that something is incomplete with you right now. And that, I mean, unless you're totally on your path, and then that's amazing. Like you should really help others find theirs. But I think that I know that people are moving from this material acquiring world into seeing that something's missing in that life, and really seeking like a more love and heart-based life and community. Like it's not on how much you have, but how much you give, and how much your light is able to light the way and light up others' lives. So that is the message I have for you guys. And now that I broke the ice, I'll be back to you again soon. I just really had to get that out to you. And you guys have totally got this. Like, you totally got this. If you want to listen to the astrology of what's coming up for you, I will definitely link October Baba. I said that wrong, sorry. And he's doing like, he does like a PBS fundraiser, like, which is amazing to me because I'm like a NPR nerd. I'll link that if you want to see the specific eclipse houses and stuff. He does Hellenistic astrology, which is ancient astrology, which is different than like pop culture astrology, because it really does, as I said, get to the soul of the matter of what you're dealing with. If you want to know the specifics, or if you want to at least find truth in what you're going through and what the stars say for you right now. That's always important, because when something resonates, you know, it kind of opens up a bigger truth for you. And I find that then you'll be curious about other things. As we're entering Christmas season, yes, the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction that's coming up is the same conjunction. Like the planets will be so close together that they'll look like one planet in the sky. And apparently, and I'm getting truth chills now, like that is what the Magi's followed to find Jesus. So it's amazing that like all these things are like flowing together now. It's like a beautiful thing. Like, so you don't have to be, things aren't going to be so restricted and like labeled as good or bad anymore. It's just a more accepting time for all things, which can only be for the best, right? After kind of the decade we've been in. So, all right, I love you all, and I will see you soon again. Let me know if any of you guys have had like any kind of awakenings right now. This is also a time of like great awakenings. If you haven't had that in your life before. So I'm like so excited to hear like what is coming together for you guys. You really don't even have to try because it's going to happen for you anyway. So, I mean, whatever path that takes you on, I'm like super excited for everybody, because once you know yourself, you can like know spirit. Like, I think that's the only way, is to go internally, you know, and not look outside for it. At least that's the way I had to do it. So maybe it's different for you guys, but I'm super excited. So love you guys, and I will talk to you later. Bye.